Good morning. I know I'm a little earlier than what I said. I got everything done and I'm sitting here going, well, I'm not going to just sit here and do nothing for a little while. So anyway, I made a little video and it will be on YouTube later today showing how I did the background. Now, I just used my watercolor paper. It's Canson watercolor. It's 9 by 12 inches and it's 140 pounds. And I just put it on there with painter's tape and I painted a very simple background. So we are doing the boat that we did last week. Now, okay, here's my drawing of the boat. So I want some of it in the water, but I want some of it above the water. So here comes the back of the boat. And here's the front of the boat. It's going to go down in the water. And then this part is coming down here like this. And then this is going to come across here like that. Okay, so that gives us a basic shape. And so now what we're going to do is we are going to put in the back. And you know what I'm not real happy with? This is too low. So there, I'm going to take that off. There, I'm going to bring that up. This will get covered up with the paint. There you go. Okay. All right, so we're going to do the back. So I am using some burnt umber. I've got my new palette that I just set up. Ooh, pretty, Sharon. And I've got some burnt umber. And I want to make it dark, so I'm going to add some blue to that. Okay, so here comes the back of the boat. You'll be able to watch the video that I did of the background. It's on my YouTube channel. I haven't posted it yet, but it'll be on there. I used ultramarine blue, dioxazine purple, turquoise deep, and white for the sky. And I started with the dark and came down. I was trying to give it some depth. Okay, so there's the back of the boat. Now we're going to use those same colors, but we're going to lighten it up just a tad. Got one color here that doesn't want to. There we go. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we're going to lighten it up. We're going to add a little bit of burnt sienna to that and a touch of white. And let's see how that looks. Is that different enough? Adding some more. I'm going to add a little more white to that. It's coming all the way down. See, you want to have the separation of the back from the front to give it the perspective. If you did it all one color, it would not work. Okay, so we're coming all the way to the bottom now, to the bottom of the boat. Okay. Now, here comes the interesting part. We're going to put some reflection underneath the boat so it's in the water. So I'm using that same color. Now, where's my color wheel? Okay. Okay, so I've got like this kind of a color here, this kind of brownish. So what comes opposite that color? Okay, so that's the turquoise. This color here, you're looking for what's opposite there. So let's pick up, I'm going to mix some of this boat color with my watercolor. I'm just going to pull it down into the water, and we're going to work on it again later. but we're going to get that initial reflection in there. And I'm just doing a little tap dancing around here to let that reflection come on down. Okay, now what we're going to do is we need to add the boards. Remember we had these boards back here? So we need to come back to the brown color that we had. Okay, the burnt umber and the blue was our back there. So we're going to add, let's see if we add yellow, what that'll do for us. I'm trying to get a weathered board look on the inside there. Now let's add a little touch of white into that. Let's see. Okay, so what we need are some boards to come across here. They need to not touch. There we go. Now we need these dark colors in there. So we're going to come back. We're going to clean that brush out. Going to get, I'm trying to get smarter and lay my brushes out that I think I'm going to need. Okay, so we need some really dark. I'm adding some purple, some blue to the burnt umber because I want okay, now that's the inside of the boat. Now here I want to add just a thin line of that same dark around the top of the boat. There we go. Now you can also do that on the back side, back here. Boy, my water is over. I have an old tea kettle of water over there on the wood stove and it's really steaming. I don't know if you can see that in the video or not, but there's a lot of steam coming out from back there. Okay, so that kind of helps with this. Okay, now let's one thing I see I didn't get right is this angle is not right. So let's come back. See, this has to angle out to match the angle on the boat. Now let's come back and put that top railing in here. Now it doesn't have to be, because of the way we're going to put the water in there later, it doesn't have to be straight across. It doesn't have to be solid. You can see that there's, okay, it'll work out fine. Don't worry about this line being perfect because it doesn't need to be. Okay, so now we're going to put in the boards on the outside. So we need some lighter color. And I've taken burnt sienna, I've added some yellow, I've added some white. There. Okay, now we're going to come across here. See, they have to curve with the side of the boat. Now I've left off some little lines. That's where the wood is going to join together. These don't have to be perfect by any stretch. You're just trying to get an effect of wood. Weathered wood. This boat has been in the water. It's not a brand new boat. Might be hand built by somebody. I don't want these little broken places right underneath each other. Now, I want to go back into the back side of that boat. Lighten that up a little bit. There we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now we're going to come down here in the water, and everything we do up, we have to mirror below. So we're going to put the boards in here, but again, we're not going to try to get them perfect. It's just the illusion. Okay, that's all that is. It's just an illusion. Okay, so now we're going to, I'm going to use this is a soft grip Royal. It's about a half an inch thick. It's a synthetic flat. I've rinsed it out. I want to make sure it's pretty clean. I want to come back now and add some more white to this is the mix that I have used, okay, in here for the boat and the water. I'm kind of coming in between that and pulling both of them together, the water and the boat. Now, this needs to be kind of wet, so I just put it in the water, tapped it off in the water, but not on the paper towel, because we want a light, it's called a wash. So the reason we didn't care about getting everything so neat on the boat reflection is because we're going to do this now. We're going to add some water. Now, that's kind of acrylic paint, dries darker. I don't know exactly how to get this across to you. It doesn't dry the same color that it is, and oftentimes it's not as vibrant. So when what you see the first time on there, it might not be. So what we're going to do is I've added some more white to our water mixture, and I'm going to put in here where the boat is sitting in the water. Now it might splash up on the water a little bit as it's sitting there. Okay. Now I'm just making some water. It's thin. It's a wash. Now what you want to do is come all the way across and just you're just kind of wiggling your brush back and forth like this, and end up little points and where the ripples would be in the water. So we're going to come all the way across there the first time and put this in. We need to make they need to connect, maybe not in touching, but in the look of it. They need to be, for one thing, it needs to be flat, okay? It needs to be even. It can't be coming up here like this, because then it looks like your water's coming off your painting. Okay, now as you can plainly see, as this dries, this is getting so light you can hardly see it. So now I have to add some more white to the edge of that. I'm not trying to change that whole pile of paint. Come in here again. Now my brush, I'm all the way back on my brush because I don't want it to get tight. Now, because the reason I didn't go white first is because when you're looking at this painting, when it's done, you're going to see depth in the water. if I had put it all on one color, there wouldn't be that depth. So we want it brightest by the edge of the boat where it's your brush is just kind of bouncing around. Don't go over the very same places that you did. Make new places so you can see all the different shades of water in there. There we go. I'm loving where we are with that. I might come back in a day or two and show you how to add a dock over here and where the boat could be tied up to the dock. But at any rate, there's our boat, our water, our reflection. You can play around with that water for a long time. And as you can see, as we go, it dries and it gets more and more muted. So if it's not, you can come back and add some more white to it. Just don't cover up your whole reflection. When I put the water in and the sky, you know, they weren't the same color, but they were blue greens and blue purples, so they kind of blended together. But once you start adding this water in here, and you could come and make a few little ripples, and that's where the brush just goes, it tells you that the water is kind of moving. You want all the straight ones in there first, but then you can add a few where your brush just rocks back and forth. And that tells you that the water's moving. Okay? So there we go. We have our boat. Now you've drawn it, and hopefully you're going to paint it. And I hope you've enjoyed this. We'll talk again later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.